At Serenity Yoga Studio, everyone thought she was just Sarah Chen, teaching inner peace. 34 years old, calm, peaceful. Every morning at 5:30 doing meditation, teaching mindfulness to her students, saying, "Find your center," the perfect yoga instructor who wouldn't harm anyone. For 3 years, she'd been Los Angeles's most beloved yoga teacher. Her students worshipped her. Sarah's energy is pure peace. She radiates calmness. Her breathing techniques are life-changing. But that Monday morning, at 10:15 a.m., everything changed. Sarah was leading her morning class. 15 students in lotus position, eyes closed, doing deep breathing exercises. Breathe in peace, breathe out tension. That's when the studio door opened and 4 armed men walked in. Students started screaming in panic. But Sarah just quietly looked out the window. 800 meters away on an apartment rooftop, there was a 5th attacker. With a sniper rifle aimed at the studio, ready to shoot anyone trying to escape. Sarah took a deep breath. She told her students calmly, "Keep breathing, stay calm. Trust me." Then she folded her yoga mat and took it with her. And what she did next, her 15 students would never forget for the rest of their lives. Because this peaceful, loving yoga instructor was formerly one of the U.S. Marine Corps' most lethal snipers. Staff Sergeant Sarah Chen. 127 confirmed kills. 99.7% accuracy rate. 3 tours in Afghanistan. And that single shot from 800 meters away would forever change what everyone thought they knew about Sarah. Because sometimes protecting inner peace requires outer war. And the story we're telling you today is about how Namaste turned into headshots, how lotus position evolved into sniper position, and that unforgettable day when 15 innocent people got the lesson of their lives instead of a yoga class. If this story already has you questioning what secrets the quiet people around you might be hiding, smash that like button right now. And if you want to hear more incredible stories about ordinary people with extraordinary hidden pasts, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, what Sarah does next will completely redefine what you think about the power of staying calm under pressure. Now, let's dive into how a peaceful yoga studio became a battlefield. Sarah Chen, owner and founder of Serenity Yoga Studio in Beverly Hills. Chinese-American, 34 years old, 5 feet 5 inches tall, black hair always in a bun, green eyes always calm and peaceful. Since opening this studio 3 years ago, she'd become one of Los Angeles's most popular yoga instructors. Sarah's daily routine was in perfect harmony. Every morning she'd wake up at 5 o'clock, meditate for 30 minutes, drink green tea, and open the studio at 7 o'clock. First classes started at 08:00, and she'd teach 6 different classes throughout the day. Hatha yoga, vinyas flow, restorative yoga, meditation classes. She catered to every type of student. Her students adored Sarah. Jennifer Martinez, 28-year-old marketing executive. "Sarah changed my life. Before her, I was constantly stressed and anxious. Now I feel so much more balanced." Michael Thompson, 45-year-old doctor. "Sarah's breathing techniques are incredible. I use what she taught me before every surgery." Linda Watson, 52-year-old retired teacher and Sarah's most devoted student. "There's something special about Sarah. Her energy is so pure, so peaceful. It's like she's never even had a violent thought." David Kim, 38-year-old software engineer. "Sarah's focus ability is amazing. She can meditate for 20 minutes without moving. I can't last 2 minutes." But none of them knew Sarah's real story. Sarah's breathing control came from years of sniper training. Her perfect posture came from military discipline. Her incredible focus ability had been developed in life-or-death situations. Sarah Chen was actually Staff Sergeant Sarah Chen, who had served 8 years in the United States Marine Corps, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marines. Specialized sniper, 127 confirmed kills, 99.7% accuracy rate. 3 deployments in Afghanistan, 1 deployment in Iraq. Her call sign was Zen, because she could stay perfectly calm even in the most stressful situations. Sarah's military career had ended traumatically in 2019. During a mission in Kabul in a civilian area, she had the perfect shot to take out her target. But at the last moment, a 6-year-old girl appeared next to the target. Sarah didn't take the shot. Because of this hesitation, 3 Marines in her squad lost their lives. From that day on, Sarah had sworn never to touch a weapon again. She got discharged from the military, moved to Los Angeles, started learning yoga, and searched for inner peace. After 2 years of intensive yoga teacher training, she opened Serenity Studio. Now she focused only on healing, peace, and love. Sarah had no weapons in her home. She even kept kitchen knives to a minimum. She didn't share her military past with anyone. Even on LinkedIn, it just said, Yoga Instructor. She was living the perfect civilian life. October 21, 2024, Monday. A normal fall day in Los Angeles. Sarah woke up at 5 o'clock as usual, did her morning meditation, and opened the studio. The first class started at 8 o'clock, Monday morning flow, intermediate level. 12 students attended. At 9:30, the second class, gentle hatha, beginner friendly. 8 students. Sarah was calm and present as always. Focus on your breath. Let go of weekend stress. Welcome Monday with an open heart. At 10:15, the third class began, deep stretch and meditation. This was Sarah's favorite class because they worked on pure mindfulness for 45 minutes. 15 regular students attended this class. All of them were Sarah's devoted students. Participants: Jennifer Martinez, marketing exec, Michael Thompson, doctor, Linda Watson, retired teacher, David Kim, software engineer, Jessica Rodriguez, nurse, Robert Brown, accountant, Amanda Wilson, artist, Christopher Davis, lawyer, Lisa Johnson, real estate agent, Mark Taylor, fitness trainer, Rachel Green, therapist, Kevin White, chef, Monica Lewis, photographer, Stephen Garcia, engineer, Maria Santos, social worker. Sarah started the class with these words: today we're going to explore the connection between breath and peace. Close your eyes, settle into a comfortable position. Let's start with 3 deep breaths together. 15 students were sitting on their yoga mats, eyes closed, following Sarah's guided meditation. The studio was in perfect silence. Only Sarah's soft voice could be heard: breathe in light, breathe out darkness. Feel your center, find your calm. Sarah was also sitting in lotus position in front of her students. But actually, she wasn't meditating. She was habitually doing environmental awareness, old military training. Her ear tuned to every sound, her eye on every movement, completely alert but appearing peaceful. At exactly 10:22, Sarah noticed something. Unusual car sounds were coming from outside. 2 vehicles, engines running, doors slamming. But this wasn't the sound of normal customers parking and coming in. This was tactical movement. Sarah didn't open her eyes but increased her muscle tension. Military instincts began kicking in. But she calmed herself. Don't be paranoid, Sarah. This is civilian life. Everything is fine. But 30 seconds later, the studio's front door opened and 4 masked armed men entered. When the first attacker entered through the door, he raised his assault rifle and shouted, "Nobody move. Everyone on the ground, now." Students started panicked screaming. Jennifer Martinez screamed, David Kim jumped up, Linda Watson was making terrified whispers. But Sarah was still sitting in lotus position. Eyes closed, breathing steady. But mentally doing full tactical assessment, for hostiles. Leader with AR-15, 30-round magazine. Second man with shotgun, pump action. Third man with pistol, probably Glock 19. Fourth man also pistol, covering exit. All wearing black tactical gear, ski masks. Professional coordination. This wasn't a random robbery. This was a planned operation. And Sarah instinctively knew the real threat wasn't inside. The four men inside were diversionary tactics. The real threat was outside. Sarah opened her eyes and quietly looked out the window. 800 meters away, on the opposite building's rooftop, she saw a sniper silhouette. The scope glint was shining in the sunlight. This sniper would eliminate anyone trying to escape from the studio. Get down. Everyone down, the leader was shouting. Students were trying to get into prone position on their yoga mats. But most were in panic, crying, shaking. Sarah stood up in slow motion. Voice calm but authoritative, everyone, listen to me. Stay calm. Breathe deeply. We're going to be okay. Students heard Sarah's voice and calmed down a bit. Sarah's energy was still peaceful. The leader pointed his weapon at Sarah. You. Yoga lady. Shut up and get down. Sarah replied calmly, I'm keeping them calm. That's what you want, right? No panic, no problems. Sarah was mentally calculating, for hostiles inside, 1 sniper outside. 15 civilians. Single exit compromised. Windows too small for escape. Sniper has overwatch position covering all possible exit routes. This was a professional hit. The target was probably a specific person among the students. Or a sadistic publicity stunt. Either way, these men had come to kill, not for ransom. Sarah slowly folded her yoga mat and took it with her. The leader didn't notice this was suspicious because Sarah's movements were still calm and graceful like a yoga teacher. Please, Sarah said softly to the leader, let me help keep them calm. I can make this easier for everyone. The leader hesitated. This woman didn't seem like a threat. She could actually be helpful. But Sarah was actually developing strategy. She could handle the 4 inside hostiles, but the outside sniper was a major problem. Without eliminating that sniper, no one would be safe. Sarah said to her students in a gentle voice, keep breathing everyone. Stay in your center. Trust me, we're going to be fine. And at that moment, something changed in Sarah Chen's eyes. The peaceful yoga instructor left, and Staff Sergeant Sarah, Chen returned. Sarah placed the folded yoga mat on her left shoulder. This movement looked normal to the students, but actually Sarah was preparing an improvised shooting rest. 8 years of military training muscle memory kicked in. The leader was still shouting commands, everyone stay down. Nobody moves. But Sarah was quietly approaching the window. Her movements were slow, non-threatening, still graceful like a yoga teacher. Sarah was mentally calculating the sniper shot, 800 meters distance. Wind approximately 5 miles per hour from southwest. Temperature 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Medium humidity. Significant bullet drop. But most importantly, what weapon would she use? Because Sarah had no weapons in the studio. But she had 15 years of military experience. And sometimes, war requires improvisation. Sarah looked at the decorative bamboo in the corner of the studio. 6 feet long, straight, lightweight. Perfect improvised projectile. But bamboo stick wouldn't work at 800 meters. She needed a more creative solution. At that moment, Sarah developed a brilliant plan. Instead of a direct attack on the sniper, she would force the sniper's positioning. Sarah suddenly said to her students in a firm voice, everyone, warrior pose. Now. This was a strange command, but the students trusted Sarah. They slowly moved from lotus position to warrior pose. The leader was confused, what the hell are you doing? Sarah, keeping them calm with familiar poses. They need structure right now. But actually, Sarah was moving the students out of the sniper's line of sight. Warrior pose directed them away from the windows. Then Sarah made the ultimate move. She placed the folded yoga mat on the window ledge, like casual decoration. But actually, she was creating an impromptu shooting rest. And at that moment, Sarah embraced the identity she had tried to bury 3 years ago. To protect these civilians, she needed to return to being Staff Sergeant Sarah Chen. Sarah mentally prepared, I swore I'd never kill again. But sometimes protecting innocent life requires the ultimate sacrifice of personal peace. Sarah approached the window and confirmed the outside sniper's exact position. 800 meters, rooftop, prone position, high-powered rifle, probably .308 caliber. Professional setup. But Sarah only had creativity. Sarah saw the studio's emergency supply cabinet. Inside was a first aid kit, flashlight, and most importantly, a signal mirror. Left over from camping supplies, a compact mirror that could reflect sunlight. Sarah developed a brilliant tactic. She would use concentrated sunlight to blind the sniper. Then approach for close-quarter elimination. Sarah took the mirror and directed sunlight at the calculated angle into the sniper's scope. At 800 meters, the concentrated beam would temporarily disable the sniper's vision. At the same time, Sarah approached the leader. Sir, I need to check on a student who's having a panic attack. The leader was distracted, trying to monitor the outside situation. Sarah made a sudden movement and grabbed the leader's rifle, applying a disarm technique with muscle memory. In 2 seconds, the rifle was in Sarah's hands. The other 3 hostiles immediately pointed their weapons at Sarah, but Sarah had already taken a cover position. She knew the yoga studio's layout perfectly. Stay back. Sarah shouted. I've got training. At this moment, the students realized Sarah wasn't an ordinary yoga instructor. Sarah quickly examined the rifle. AR-15, full magazine, safety off, ready to fire. Familiar weight, familiar balance. She was holding a weapon for the first time in 3 years, but muscle memory was intact. But the real problem was still the outside sniper. That sniper might be blinded, but it was temporary. And the 3 inside hostiles were still a threat. Sarah faced an impossible decision: neutralize the inside hostiles, or eliminate the outside sniper. Both simultaneously was impossible. At that moment, Sarah's yoga training kicked in. Not the peaceful part, but the mindfulness part. Present moment awareness. Clear thinking under pressure. Sarah realized, who was the outside sniper's primary target? Probably a specific person among the students. But which student? Sarah quickly looked at her students and noticed a pattern. Jennifer Martinez, marketing executive, was nervously looking at her phone. And on the phone was a message: package delivered. Proceed with elimination. Jennifer wasn't the victim. Jennifer was the insider. This whole operation was to aid Jennifer in eliminating another target. The real target. David Kim, software engineer. Probably a government contractor with access to classified information. Sarah instantly changed strategy: protect David, neutralize Jennifer, eliminate the inside hostiles, stop the outside sniper. All in the next 60 seconds. War had returned to Sarah Chen's life. And this time, she would wage war to preserve peace. Sarah combined her martial arts training with yoga poses. Smooth transitions from warrior pose to combat stance, from mountain pose to shooting position. First move, neutralize Jennifer. Sarah made a sudden hand strike and grabbed Jennifer's phone, confirming the message: target is David Kim. Eliminate when ready. Jennifer was shocked. Sarah, what are you doing? Sarah, your friends outside won't be calling back. Second move, systematically eliminate the inside hostiles. Sarah used the rifle like an extension of yoga practice. Smooth, flowing, deadly efficient. First hostile, Shotgun Sarah rolled behind the reception desk, used the desk corner as a shooting rest. Single shot, center mass. Down. Second hostile, pistol Sarah moved to the next position in vinyas flow. From back bend to firing position. Second shot. Down. Third hostile, pistol the remaining hostile panicked and started random firing. Sarah went from tree pose to prone position, perfect stability. Third shot. Down. Total time, 45 seconds. 3 hostiles neutralized. 15 civilians protected. But the outside sniper was still active. And now he knew Sarah's location. Sarah used her yoga mat as a shield to approach the windows. The sniper's bullet shattered the studio's glass, but Sarah stayed in cover. This was a standard sniper duel. 800 meters distance. Professional versus professional. But Sarah's disadvantage. Improvised position, unknown rifle 0, stress conditions. Sarah took a deep breath. Applied yoga breathing technique. Center yourself, Sarah. Find your zen. Ironically, yoga training had made Sarah a better sniper. Improved breath control, enhanced body awareness, strengthened mind-body connection. Sarah calculated everything: wind drift, bullet drop, moving target, sniper repositioning, environmental conditions. And at that moment, Sarah realized. This wasn't just a tactical problem, it was an ethical problem. If she took this shot, Sarah would be a killer again. But if she didn't, David Kim would die. Sarah made her final decision: David's life was worth more than Sarah's inner peace. Perfect shooting position, yoga mat folded as rest, body perfectly aligned, breathing controlled, sight picture clear. Sarah whispered, "Forgive me," not to herself, but to the person she was about to kill. Target acquired. Sniper, 800 meters, slight wind compensation needed. Sarah squeezed the trigger. Single shot. Perfect hit. Outside sniper eliminated. Silence returned to Serenity Yoga Studio. Police and SWAT teams arrived 8 minutes later. EMTs rushed inside, expecting carnage. Instead they found 15 traumatized but alive civilians, 1 calm yoga instructor cleaning blood from yoga mats, and 4 neutralized threats. Detective Maria Rodriguez interviewed Sarah. "Ma'am, what happened here?" Sarah simply replied, "Self-defense. They threatened my students." "Ma'am, this level of tactical response, do you have military background?" Sarah paused. "Former Marine. Staff Sergeant. But I've been civilian for 3 years." The detective's investigation revealed, this was a professional assassination attempt against David Kim. David was a government contractor working on a classified cybersecurity project. Jennifer Martinez was an insider threat, being blackmailed by foreign agents. David Kim approached Sarah. "You saved my life. How can I thank you?" "Sarah, just live well. That's enough." The students were shocked but grateful. Linda Watson, "Sarah, I had no idea you were military." "Sarah, I didn't want you to know. I came to yoga to find peace, not to bring war." Michael Thompson, "But you protected us. You're still the same person." "Sarah, am I? I just killed 4 people. How is that compatible with yoga philosophy?" This was an existential crisis for Sarah. For 3 years, she had built a perfect peaceful life. But in one day, everything shattered. Sarah spent the next few days in reflection. She temporarily closed the studio. Media attention overwhelmed her. Yoga instructor kills 4 attackers, headlines everywhere. But her student support was incredible. They all sent messages: "We understand. You saved us. Come back when you're ready." 1 week later, Sarah reopened Serenity Studio. But now with a different approach. New class, Warrior Yoga. Combining mindfulness with self-defense awareness. Sarah told her students, peace isn't the absence of conflict. Peace is the ability to handle conflict with wisdom and strength. Sometimes protecting innocent life requires difficult choices. David Kim became a regular student. Jennifer Martinez was arrested, awaiting trial for treason. The outside sniper was identified as an international assassin, connected to foreign intelligence. 6 months later, Sarah received the Medal of Civilian Heroism. At the award ceremony, I didn't want to be a hero. I wanted to be a yoga teacher. But sometimes life chooses our path for us. Sarah's story spread throughout the yoga community. Some criticized her for violence. Others praised her for protection. Sarah learned, you can't please everyone, you can only follow your conscience. 1 year later, Sarah was writing a book, From Warrior to Healer to Warrior Again. Finding peace in protecting others. Sarah realized, inner peace doesn't mean avoiding all conflict. Sometimes inner peace comes from knowing you did the right thing, even when it's the difficult thing. Serenity Yoga Studio now has a memorial corner, in honor of those who protect peace. And Sarah always ends her classes the same way, Namaste. The warrior in me honors the warrior in you. May we use our strength to protect, not to harm. May we find peace through righteous action. Sarah Chen was now a different person. Not just a yoga instructor, not just a former Marine. She was a protector, healer, teacher, and when necessary, warrior. And in her morning meditation, Sarah whispers, grant me strength to protect the innocent, wisdom to know when action is needed, and peace to live with the consequences of necessary choices. Because sometimes true Zen comes through the perfect shot. If this story moved you and made you realize that the quiet, peaceful people around you might be hiding incredible strength, smash that like button and let me know in the comments what hidden talents you think people might be concealing. Subscribe for more amazing stories about ordinary people with extraordinary secrets, and remember, sometimes the most dangerous person in the room is the one who looks the most peaceful. See you in the next incredible story.